Now I understand that if you carry the obesity gene, if that is what you have, that is what makes you overeat. You don't overeat and become obese. Right. Obesity causes you to overeat.
Well, I had to go get my own Popeyes today.
What's wrong with what you
Look how
have?
small the legs in the wing.
Those look very proportioned. No, he did not just swallow an entire, whole, and intact Popeyes biscuit with no hesitation, no struggle, and no beverage.
He did. Listen, they about to hate me for this one here today, but at this stage in the game, I just don't care. And why is that? Because it's the truth, all right? And the truth will set you damn free. Nevertheless, what is it that we're talking about today? And it is the delusion that we must confront, specifically in the land of the big backs, okay? Because some of the content that they are producing over there, it's beginning to creep into the very spaces meant for sharpening our mind and strengthening our bodies. So we must dispatch this degree of irrationality as well as delusion the best way that we know how. Now, I got multiple clips for you guys here today, and trust me when I say that it's going to be a good one. Walk with me on this journey, and let's get active. Without further ado,
There's so much to get just animated about here, isn't there? Just a wealth of information from Carrie. Carrie, you sound like a nice lady, but the reason that people assume you're at the beginning of your fitness journey is because you're a morbidly obese woman. The body of somebody that's been in this for 5 years is not morbidly obese. The body of somebody that just started out is potentially morbidly obese. These things just make sense logically. That's why they think you're a beginner. You're also very weak for how big you are. Why do you only squat 135 if you're a power lifter and you're a certified personal trainer? But the thing that just really fucking gets my goat here is the phrasing. They just make shit up. They just make up new shit to avoid the old shit, okay? You're not a person in a larger body. You are obese. You are morbidly obese, okay? We have words that have meanings already.
Correct.
We don't need to redefine and make up new terms in order to skirt reality, okay? The reality is that you're morbidly obese, violently unhealthy. You're not a person in a larger body. You're not in your body. You are your body, okay? It's not like you're this unwilling passenger that you've been fucking damned with this obese body that's just been cast upon you against your will. This is entirely your fault. You're not in a larger body. You have chosen to be morbidly obese.
the best portion of this young man's content, and he said a lot of good things, but the best is him focusing on the attempt to remove accountability by switching up words or using words intelligently enough to skirt the obvious. You do not wake up in a body the size of that. It is you being a willing participant in creating it like that. And miss me with the whole medical stuff that I hear as excuses. The reality is that the percentage of the population that has some type of like endocrine issue, hormonal issue, right, pituitary gland issue is infinitely small in comparison to the amount of people that adorn this type of body type. People do not associate you with being a personal trainer because your fat to muscle ratio is still wildly out of whack. And it goes beyond delusion to not recognize as to why that is. And in fact, I would say that this degree of irrationality dips down into harmful. Harmful not only for you, but for the others that would be trained by you that might have a similar body type as well. There is no benefit. There's actually way less benefit within your life if you want to live long, walking around with this amount of fat attached to your bones. If you look up the leading causes of death, like the top 5, the majority of the leading causes are often tied to things that you put into your body, things of which you eat. But yes, ma'am, they have every right to think that you are not a personal trainer. This is why it's so important to call out the rhetoric or the nonsense as you see it for your personal trainer should look like the pinnacle of what you want your body to look like. This is like trying to get advice from a homeless person about how to become a multimillionaire. What's also interesting about this is that it's not just her. Even famous people like Oprah utilize words, trickery within their words in order to remove accountability.
All these years, I thought I was overeating. I was standing there with all the food noise, what I ate, what I should eat, how many calories was that, how long is it going to take. I thought that that was because of me and my fault. Now I understand that if you carry the obesity gene, if that is what you have, that is what makes you overeat. You don't overeat and become obese. Obesity causes you to overeat. Obesity causes you to have all of that food noise. And what the GLP-1s have done for me, and I know a number of other people, is to quiet that noise.
Sorry, Oprah, you cannot utilize your obesity gene explanation to get over the real issue here, which is your lack of an accountability gene. She gonna say and do anything to stay on that Ozempic, get that surgery, get that body done, that face done. And for what? Due to an inability to cease mouth pleasure, cut sugar out your diet, eat more protein, exercise at least 3 times per week, and put the fork down. Quick emergency meeting. I was recently searching for my name online and found way too much personal information, which brought me down this weird rabbit hole of how that could have happened, and found out that there's companies out there called data brokers that will sell your data to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. And it's a nasty, disgusting feeling knowing that there's bad actors out there selling my information, selling your information for profit. But that's why I'm recommending today's sponsor, Aura. Now, I use Aura to automatically remove my information from these sites and keep my information off. But they do other things as well, such as bank fraud and identity theft alerts, VPN access. But guys, utilize my link down in the description box down below for a 14-day trial. At least see if you've been compromised. Privacy is king in this day and age, and you should know if your information is out there. So again, utilize my link, aura.com/MTR, in the description box down below to try 2 weeks free. That's way more than enough time to see if your personal data has been exposed. Go now. And this is not just a US thing. For the next clip, we're going to have to go down under for the research.
Well, let's move on. Someone else who is actually breaking stereotypes is this personal trainer. She is a fat personal trainer, as she calls herself. And part of her business model is being plus size and not the conventional gym body. A gym influencer who himself is very fit hired her for an hour. She cost $60 Australian for the hour. Pretty cheap. Is that cheap?
Yeah, that's cheap.
Oh, it still sounds pretty expensive. And he actually asked her, what do you say to the people that question how you could have a fat personal trainer?
What's your response to people saying that you shouldn't be a personal trainer?
Honestly, my response is that the fact that they think that health and fitness is based entirely on weight, which is what they're judging me on. For me, health and fitness is not just about weight. It's everything from your mental health to your cardiovascular health. Anybody can be a personal trainer if they train and they qualify and they get insurance and they get a job and they can get clients.
Fair enough.
Now, one of the top comments on this video said, this is like taking financial advice from someone who lives in a tent. Which
I didn't know that was coming.
A bit harsh. But Jamie, look, I think if you can't sort yourself out, how are you going to sort me out?
You know, I come from this from a different perspective. I personally always like to have a personal trainer that's very fit, that you want to aspire to look like, and you know that you're going to get a really strong workout. But fun fact, I worked in a gym when I was at uni, and one of the requests when people would come in the door, especially someone who was anxious about joining a gym or overweight themselves and trying to get onto a fitness program, they would often see our trainers who were all very good looking, very fit, and would find it really intimidating. And so they often wouldn't go ahead with a service and would often leave and not come back. So I think that this woman has got a huge market for her, and go for it. If she's getting clients, then good luck to her. I think she's got a good market there.
I wonder about this. I mean, she said being fit and healthy it's not all about weight. Well, actually, weight's got quite a lot to do with it. It's
correlated.
They talk about all the things that weight does to your body that are really bad for you. So I'm not persuaded by her line. I would never have a personal trainer because I wouldn't be bothered with. But I did have a lot of physio this year because I had a total knee replacement, TKR. But there's a whole club of us with TKRs around Australia. And so I spent weeks and weeks and weeks with physios who are fabulous. But they're young and they're fit and they're healthy and they're active. And I've got confidence in them for that reason.
And that's the thing. If she had just pitched this as there's a group of people out there that are anxious to go to the gym, they want to work out with someone who looks like them so they don't feel as intimidated, I would say go for it. That's your business model. If you can make money like that, that's wonderful.
Plus she's cheap.
But she's cheap. Well, I wonder why. But when you cross that line and say, actually, this is also just as healthy as being very physically fit, I mean, that's just objectively not true.
Yeah. But I'm not going to call her fatty because I think the way she's trained, I would get a whack on the jaw that would kill me.
Whack on the jaw that would kill me. This is like taking mental health advice from someone trapped deep within Arkham Asylum. This is like taking what to eat advice from an anorexic. It's like asking a deadbeat parent on parental advice. It just doesn't make sense. At the end of the day, you could probably just go out to an AI like a ChatGPT in order to give you advice regarding routine. But like, I just, I don't know if... This is actually worse form than the first young lady because at least the first lady was a bigums, but she was still deadlifting at least, it looked like 225, whereas the muscle to fat ratio here I think is a little bit larger. Nevertheless, I know we're having a little bit of fun here, but let's dive down into a debate that was had, which I think will give us a little bit more insight. And I forgot to mention that it's with the same young lady. Let's go.
You need to be in good shape to be a personal trainer.
I think we have very different clients.
I really don't think we do. I've got kids who are overweight, kids who are underweight, women who are overweight, women who are underweight. But I do have clients the exact same as you.
What, who are scared to go into the
Oh, mate, I have to sit outside of the gym with 2 clients, and the hour that they paid for me, they were too scared to go into the gym.
All of my clients are that.
Yeah, I feel like everyone is a little bit intimidated to go into a new place.
I think there is a difference. Because
don't think there is.
You say that your clients come to you because you are the body that they want.
No, not necessarily. I've got women. I don't think women want to look like me.
Okay.
Right,
so,
good point.
In shape then.
Well, yeah.
My clients see success as me because mentally I'm existing in the gym.
So Rhiannon, would you say that your main goal for your clients is not necessarily to get them into shape?
Right.
Yeah, no, not at all. My main goal is to get them started on their health and fitness journey.
100%.
But you think it's about getting in shape. I don't think.
And mentally.
You need to be in good shape.
So essentially, she is describing herself as sort of the gateway drug of working out. And I can agree there can be a market for that. If you are of bigums, shape and size and dexterity, perhaps it is a bit intimidating. But I think a lot of that intimidation is oh God, it's just like weak. Like it's just like feel overwhelmed for once in your life, right? Like feel like that you can't do it unless you try hard for once in your life. This is why I hate this participation trophy ass culture. Like it's just like man up, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's stop giving excuses and just go, just do. And I think that if she wants to go with this logic, I don't think that you should call yourself just a personal trainer because I think people are going to get confused. Of the people that sign up to you, they may not recognize because of their lack of knowledge of personal training and working out, staying fit, staying healthy. They may not know that you're just the gateway drug. They may not know that. So they may be with you for years, right? Like if you said, hey, listen, this is an on-ramp and we're going to start doing this, and 3 months later, I'm going to then give you to an actual personal trainer that has demonstrated results within their life and can give you results based off of what they have achieved. But instead, it comes off as, pay me because I am struggling like you with no end in sight. I know personally for me, if I want to win, I'm going to go where the winners are. I'm going to go where the difficulty is, but that's my mindset. And I do think that competitive mindset, generally, if over time, if you work at something, you will eventually improve. Now, I know some people down up in the comment section saying that, hey, yo, listen, MTR, this is a one-off. But what if I told you that it is a growing industry of this type?
And is. But also, we have to be okay with the fact that some people's bodies are not going to be a size 2. That's just not how they work. That's not how bodies work. Yeah. But also not everybody...
Yeah, bodies also don't work with being a size 22, okay? They will try to eliminate the logic in your talking points by picking out an extreme. We could meet somewhere in the middle, baby girl.
Wants to be a size size 2. Well, they don't want to hear that. Some people love themselves in their own skin.
There we go.
Yeah.
Why would I want to support you for loving yourself in your own skin? Because, you know, I want to be miserable and misery loves company. So, no, if I'm miserable, you need to be miserable too. Heaven forbid you love yourself.
No, that's...
Can we just point out the fact that this is the thing? Personal trainers,
Okay.
the fitness professionals that are in my comments speaking these hateful things
It's not
are
hate.
scared because they're using scare tactics with all of their clients. That's the only way that they get clients is because they're telling them there's something wrong with you. You got to get in the gym and you need to hate yourself into changing it. So I'm here talking about actually come work out with me. You can come to the gym and love yourself and move just for the sake of moving.
Listen, show me an 80-year-old with this body type. They passed away years ago. They don't exist. They don't exist. You can say something that makes the utmost sense, but if people don't want to hear facts, they will victimize whatever it is, right? Like they are now the ultimate victim within whatever it is that you are trying to help them out with. And it's a damn shame. And to be honest with you, you really just see majority women and men who do not take a masculine paradigm within their lives acting this way. But I'll be honest with you guys, like when I go up and I travel around this world and I go to a place like Canada, right? And I look around, I'm just like, damn, like why is there so many why is there a surplus of beautiful women in Canada? And I think the majority of the reason is that the food that is allowed in Canada is not allowed in the United States. Therefore, their waistlines are by and large smaller than the United States. When you have less big backs and more average sized women, the general average of beauty will go up. So no, ma'am, you might think that the truth is hate, but you combating the truth is not doing good for you nor your clients, whether it be in fitness or relationship.
To feel healthy and feel better, but I'm not scaring you into it, and I'm booked.
And is?
There's a market for it.
We got a wait list, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a wait list.
That
doesn't mean you shouldn't reach out. Please.
Okay. There's a reason why you don't see these body types in third world countries. And there's also a reason why in olden days, body types like this were put on a pedestal because it signified abundance. But that was also before science. That was before the capture of data and analytics and surgery and cardiovascular disease and the sugar, diabetes, right? Before any of that stuff. And just like there's been widespread campaigns over the past several decades to minimize people smoking, because now with science, we can prove how detrimental that it was. Prior to the science, right, and the advertisements, it was cool to smoke. It would be on TV, it would be in movies. It was a cool thing. Now think about it. Like people look at you now if you smoke, like, what's wrong with you? And that's because people spoke out against it. Which is why I continue to speak out against this, because inevitably, if you prioritize the length of your life, then you will not be proud of this. This is not body shaming. This is truth prioritization. Let's go.
A person who is from an ethnic minority background, you know, some communities, it's actually taboo to, and, you know, it's quite a sensitive topic to talk about. So if you're not being able to learn about these things through the medium of school, then where do you learn, you know? And I wish when I was in school, we were, you know, they teach us in Welsh back and back about, you know, how to apply for a bank account and
I want to pinch your cheeks.
How to, you know, get a job. But what about things like how to check if, you know, do a breast exam? How do I know if, you know, signs of cervical cancer, screenings, when am I supposed to get those? You know, the things that are going to prolong my life, you know? So why don't we teach these things before we teach?
Why don't we?
You know, how to get a job, because if I'm not living long enough, how am I going to get a job?
All right. Now, I know some of you guys are done up in there like, why MTR? Why is you showing us this? Well, the reason is that this is a health ambassador from Wales opening up a dialogue about female wellness. It is oddly ironic to have a whale in Wales speaking about education of information. I just find it ironic that she can have these comments while not addressing, for lack of a better term, the elephant in the room. Now, I know I've been getting on a lot of ladies within the confines of this video, but I gotta get on some of my dudes real quick as well. Let's go.
Bro, I had to go get my own Popeyes today.
What's wrong with what you
Look how
have?
small the legs in the wing.
Those look very proportional. No, he did not just swallow an entire, whole, and intact Popeye's biscuit with no hesitation, no struggle, and no beverage. Look.
He did.
Look, there isn't an ounce of doubt in his body language. That biscuit spent its final moments in absolute shock and confusion. Never in its life did it expect to be eaten alive and whole like this, Titan style. After encapsulating the entire biscuit in his mouth cave, he then went on to talk through it. Using my shiesty perception, I was able to tell that his heartbeat did not rise at all. No adrenaline was released. Any normal civilian should have immediately had a panic attack. In the midst of his nonchalant battle with the biscuit, guess what he had to Drake? Think quickly.
I don't know.
Did you guess a small amount of viscous artificial honey?
Not
This should have low-key tripled his suffering, but instead it somehow provided him with sustenance and relief. I am not sensing any culinary magical expression coming from him, but his durability far exceeds that of the average human.
Facts.
Perhaps he possesses some sort of deviant culinary heavenly restriction. I will report him to the council at once.
All right. I think I'm done with the video here today. I had to be able to show this. This is, oh man, this is what a world we live in. You know what I'm saying? But it's a world that is ripe for proper dissection because, you know, at the end of the day, I love you guys. I want you to continue to make as best decisions as what you ultimately can throughout your life. All right. Listen, health is one of those things that it's interesting, you know, right? Like we got computer brains that are smarter than some of us. Meanwhile, we haven't really figured out some of the biggest mysteries within health, right? But we can make decisions now based off of the research that's been released. And I know some things is true, and there's some things that I'm taking into my health journey going into 2026. Like one of my things is I'm completely giving up candy, right? Because I know that whether it be through real sugar or fake sugar, all it is just mouth pleasure at the end of the day. And although, you know, I'm in good shape, and it's because I work out so damn much. I'm in good shape. That's that one thing that I'm like, damn, what type of shape would I be in if I would let my lifelong sweet tooth go? So I have abolished that, all right? Because at the end of the day, your health, it's bigger than fitness, okay? It's about your honesty with the information that is presented to us, all right? It's about the standards that you can create and the discipline that you can hold on to because inevitably, results is what you're going after. The results will matter. And whether or not it's in gym, it's in business, it's in your relationship, right? You're not going to be judged by your intentions or your trauma, right? Like your struggle story. You will be judged by your outcomes. You will be judged by the outcomes. There is no other way that I could try to say this more clear than this, all right? And when we start rewarding outcomes that are failures, instead of telling them to improve, we're lost. Send the asteroid. Society poison, all right? Progress, forward movement, it requires discomfort. It requires the truth. It requires accountability. It requires discipline. It does not require coddling and constant affirmation for below-level results, participation rewards, and trophies. Growth never required participation trophies, all right? Never. If I have when I got kids one day, all right? I'm childless right now, all right? But if I ever, he comes home with a participation, give me that shit, get that shit the goddamn hell up out of here. Go outside and go stomp on it. Go stomp on it. We're not going to award 5th place. We won't. That's because I want them to understand progress. I want them to understand, hey, you might lose sometime. Get better. It's actually funny if you think about this and you could spit it. Like, I'm not a real big sports head like that. I feel like the greatest, right? Like, the type of character that is built to make a world champion boxer back in the 70s and the 80s and, even into the 90s, we don't have that same like we did back then. We don't have it. So I think as we go off in time, you're going to start to it's going to reflect within sports as well. Now, maybe it's offset by, growth within sports science. Maybe to a degree it's offset with like the data, statistic, right? Like maybe the chemicals, the things that, these young athletes are taking, maybe it's offset by that. So maybe it'll be even for a little bit of time. But when it comes to pure grit, determination, right? Like them stories that you would hear of these champions that, was born in El Salvador in like a dirt hut. In the first 20 years of their life, they ate sticks and stones, you heard? Had to walk 12 miles or go get water down by the well. You don't really got that. Like to what degree nowadays, especially not in the West, at least to a degree. You guys get and understand my point, all right? But when you want to get better and you choose a coach, a mentor, right? Like, and even some of y'all in your relationships, right? Wives, right? You're choosing to be around people that will determine the results that you want. And the world owes you nothing. Sympathy cannot replace competence and representation, okay? Especially if you're not looking for or getting all of this in terms of the results that you want. So if you want a better body, if you want a better life, right? You have to do it by truth. Like, you cannot do it by lies, right? Now, delusion will only feel good for a season, but reality will always get you the outcomes, all right? So, hey, but listen, I can't even hate on them for having the ability to market a subpar product within a marketplace, but if y'all want to if y'all want to get set up for the jukes, then go right ahead. Anyway, nevertheless, guys, I know we went over a lot of different pieces within this piece of content right here, but leave me your comments down below in the comment box. We'll see what the comments do. Nevertheless, I am happy to be your host here today. I go by Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. If it's your first time looking at this content, leave me some of your comments down below. I'll be sure to look at the comments to see what type of discussion that this riles up. But I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I want you to live as long and healthy lives as what is possible. All right? And until next time, peace.
So, without further ado, MTR, cut through the BS like we in charge. No cap with the rappers like steel bars. I'm packing and rapping like here we are. Here we are. Mediocre tutorial reviews. Like, comment, share my views. Come up and I paid my dues. Big step in my black way shoes. MTR, he break it down, yeah, it's MTR. Check out the sound with his MTR. No one put it down like it's MTR.